So number 8. So we leave Sydney. The only place we've got to go, the only place we have to go is Seal Rocks, because my mate who brought us over, Teddy, said, why don't you go there? I used to live there. You guys will love it. Great night to camp. So we get there, break Mel in slowly, on a beautiful beach, pop up the turtle thing on top, and we camp there overnight. Fantastic. Wake up. And just head north. That's the only plan we've got. We just Seal Rocks. So what do we do? So there's a place called Harrington. It used to be part of my old stomping ground, and there was a particular pub there, and wanted to show this pub, this old Irish pub. So we drive into Harrington, about 2 or 3 hours up the north coast there. I think it is. I don't know. 4 hours. I don't know. And we get to Harrington, and we drive around there and get directions to this little pub. And we go to this pub. It's not a little pub anymore. It's been totally yuppified. It's all full of bloody grey nomads in their, $100,000 camper vans, and we walk in there feeling like a set of dog's balls, and no one was particularly welcoming, whatever. And I just look at Mel, I go, man, I don't want to be here, And she goes, I don't want to be here either. For some reason, it just doesn't feel right. So I go, okay. But as we came into town, there was this little hole in the wall fish and chip shop sitting on the river, and we go, okay, well, why don't we just go in there? Why don't we go in there and just have a feed? And so it was Mother's Day, and it was crowded, and it was raining, and pissing with rain. And so we go in there and head to the car, start up. She goes to the restroom. I come out. I said, I go to the restroom. I come out. She goes in, and when she gets back to the car, she goes, "Did you see the black fella in there?" I go, "No, I didn't see black fella." He goes, "Yeah. When you walked in, he was sizing you up and down." I go, "Really?" So I went back in there and said, "G'day, mate." He goes, "G'day, cuz. Where's your mob?" And I just, burst into tears again and give him the rundown on stuff. And he goes, "Well, where are you going?" I said, "I think I'm going to Bunjalung country. I think that's where it all starts for me, or ends, or hope." Something. He goes, "You need to talk to Ken Gordon, Uncle Ken Gordon." I go, "Right, I need to talk to Uncle Ken Gordon." He goes, "You need to go to Muller." I said, "All right, I'll go to Muller." So he writes out Ken Gordon's name and a phone number. No. He writes out Ken Gordon's name, that's it, and Muller. So, all right, I'll go to Muller. So we punch it in and we're off. It's raining, rain's starting to get across the road, it's starting to get a bit, edgy. Another 4.5 hours, so it's dark as, and, when it gets dark, it gets dark. And here I am thinking we're going to some little town and there's going to be a pub somewhere to stay, a hotel or something. And there's nothing. We get to this T intersection, it's pissing with rain, and the GPS goes, "You have arrived at your destination." And I look at my missus going, "Babe, look, I'm sorry." And we look around and there's this one street light sitting over a Telstra phone booth in the middle of a gravel car park backed up to this old hall. And I go, "Oh, bloody hell." She goes, "Well, what do we do?" I said, "I don't know. Look, I feel like let's just go down right here and we'll see if there's anything down there." So we go drive down this road. There's nothing. There's one light on a house. We turn back around and I just stop opposite this house. I said, "Look, let me just see what happens." So I get out of this car and his head comes out the window. And this fella goes, "G'day, cuz." I go, "G'day, cuz." He said, "What are you doing?" I said, I'm trying to find Uncle Ken Gordon." He goes, "Oh, I was just speaking, get this, I was just speaking to Ken Gordon on the phone." I said, "You were just speaking to Ken Gordon?" "Yeah, I was just speaking to Ken Gordon." "Really?" "Yeah." "Is he here?" "No, he's in Nimbin." "Well, he's coming back from Nimbin tonight." I said, "You want to go see him now?" I said, "No, mate, look, it's a bit late, it's 7 o'clock or something." He said, "Oh, yeah, right, yeah, why don't we go, pick me up tomorrow and I'll take you up to Ken's place." I said, "Okay." I said, "Is there any place to stay?" I said, "I've got this turtle." He goes, "Well, why don't you go back over there by that light?" I said, "Can I?" "Oh, yeah, just tell him Jacob said so." I said, "Right, mate." So we parked there, pissing with rain. My missus is a champ. She's pulling out the bits and pieces, cooking a feed. We get up at the crisis and need to go to the bathroom in the morning, and then some fella was in this school that just happened to be next door that we couldn't see in the middle of the night, and he let us into the restroom. So, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, for a fella, it's not such a big. For a lady, it's a big deal. So we go do that. We go to see Uncle Ken, and this is where I'm telling you, We go see Uncle Ken and Aunt Tracy and have a cup of tea, and we start to tell them about what we do. And they say, well, funny you should say this, that you want to connect with the Bundjalung people, because this week is the 50th anniversary of the Aquarius gathering that they have in Nimbin. And all the Bundjalung elders from all over the nation are coming in to this one campground for this 1 week of celebration to have this one series of events. And you just happen to be, and it's like, okay, well, this is kind of freaking me out a little bit here, so it's all right, yeah, cheers, mate. So go up and see Auntie Rose. Okay, Auntie Rose. She knows everyone in the Bundjalung Nation. So, okay, I'll go see Auntie Rose. She'll know where you're from, where your folk are from, all that sort of stuff. Okay, not a problem. So we go up to the campground, and it's pissing with rain. And there's 2 tents there, a bit to the marquee things, and we go there and we walk into one. There's just a couple of people say, look, we're looking for Auntie Rose. He goes, no, mate, no. He said, they've all gone home. I said, oh, they're gone home. I said, yeah, look, we're black fellas, we're not stupid. It's pissing with rain, mate. We all just live around here. So we'll come back when it stops bloody raining. And then do this white fella stuff they want us to do. Right, no worries. So then we wander over this other tent, and this is where it starts to just blows my mind. First up, I walk into this first tent, and I go, oh, yeah, what's your story? Well, I'm looking for... And the same thing, oh, yeah, you're definitely mob, mate. Yeah, right, come and have a cup of tea. Okay. Walk into this second tent, and there's like 5 or 6 people there. And I just walk into this tent. I go, g'day, cuss. G'day, cuss. Where's your mob? I said, I don't know where my mob is, mate. And there's this quiet fella just sitting on my left here, and there's a wonderful couple in front, and another fella sitting over there, and Japanese fella. And he's a character. And there's other fella, other white fella. And so I said, I don't know, cuz, this is my story. And I just tell them the story. They said, sit down. This guy sitting next to me, probably one of the sweetest men I've ever met. Lewis Walker, Uncle Lewis Bundjalung Walker. Who'll find out's a language expert. And so we're talking, and he's talking about country, and he's talking about the need for ceremony. He's talking, if you're going to come back, you've got to come back. And Lewis isn't that well. He had a snake bite, lost 2 kids. I mean, like, the guy's had a rough ride, So he said, let's talk, maybe we can do something, and we talk a little bit, and it was an incredible invitation to connect. Beautiful. So I went out to his place the next day, and he was not well, so we went back the next day, and we had a great visit. But that was sort of it, so that's sort of it. I was in Bundjalung country. Auntie Rose never showed up. I connected with Lewis. He was very inviting and positive. And I just settled everything in myself. I said, look, I don't really need any more affirmation that I'm a black fella. Every person I meet says, your mob, where you're from. And, I was speaking to a fella called Tyson Yakamura, who wrote a book called Sand Talk, and reading his book, and he sort of gave me a sense of peace that your mob can lose you, and sometimes you just got to come to terms with that. So I came to terms with that. Really in just this moment, I had this epiphany leaving Uncle Lewis Walker's place. This just might be as good as it gets for me, and I'm at peace with this. So we go back into Nimbin for this one last day. We're just going to go do a tourist thing. I dragged my wife around for 2 weeks doing blackfella stuff, and she'd never seen Australia, so I was going to take a bush, go to Boorana, see the fish traps, go to Broken Hill, and just do a tourist thing. I'll settle it. This is as much as I'm going to know, and I'll see what link up comes up with. And I'm sitting in there, and I go up there, and Leanne and Justin and Waylon are there. And we just got talking a little bit, and they'd driven down from Tennant Creek, they'd 4 days, 5 days straight or whatever, and we're just talking. And he tells me his story, that his mother was in this like birthing station, and they had all these kids, and every kid that was happening, this white family had come in, and they just picked the kid that they wanted, they'd take and go. And he goes, and he just looks at me, and when they get to looking at you, you get looked at. Look, I mean, I felt seen by more people in a matter of 2 weeks than I had in my entire life. I mean, seen. I mean, in the present, there I am a human being seen. And he looks at me and he goes, I know what you're looking for, bro. I know what you're looking for. I said, the thing is with Bundjalung country, the last fella who was ever initiated here died, 4 or 5 years ago, because the sacred sites are all gone. There'll be no more ceremony here. There'll be no more bringing they'll have to do ceremony elsewhere. He said, this is my story, and he told me his story. He said, I'm a Warramungu man from the Northern Territory. And 10 years ago, I went through ceremony. All my bush brothers are 10 years old. They're all getting their licenses now, So we laughed a bit about that. And he goes, you need to come to Tennant Creek. He said, I'm your mob. I said, we're your mob. You need to come to Tennant Creek. He said, this is what you're looking for. And it just broke something loose in my soul. Like here was someone just welcoming me home, calling me home. And, he said, I want you to come in September to meet the elders. And then I want you to come in December for ceremony. I said, and he goes through the whole, 10-year-old bush brother thing. He said, you'll come in a man, but when you leave, you'll come in as a boy, but when you leave as a man. And you'll know your place in the law, you'll know your place in society, you'll know your place in the world. He said, that's what men like you and I are looking for. And man, I just cried like a baby. I just cried like a baby. And I thought it was special. So I thought it was special. But you've got to understand, I've got no context to the weight of this exchange. And later I was to find out that Lewis was this linguistic expert, that his wife, Leanne, is just such an incredibly sharp woman. Waylon was just a peach of a guy. Like, I loved the fella. So generous, so serving, so giving of himself. And to find out Justin's a lawman. I didn't even know what a lawman was, Educated, articulate, connected with an understanding of both, white fella law and black fella law. And I knew it was special. And I was excited. For the first time in my life, I felt still, like something had happened. But I didn't realise how significant it was until I rang Link Up. Because they rang me, they've been chasing me, they're wanting an update on how the journey's going. And I rang them and said, look, I connected with my mob. I found my people, they found me, a Warramungu. They go, the Warramungu? I said, yeah. No, not the Warramungu. I said, yeah, the Warramungu. The Warramungu don't do this. The Warramungu, they don't do this. I've never heard of anyone, Warramungu, being taken into their mob and claimed as their own. And it's been surreal, to go from not being wanted, not having a place to belong, to now having a family, a tribe, a people, a place, a country. The privilege of going up and meeting the elders, of being invited into ceremony. I can't tell you how. To say I'm deeply honoured is it's just the wrong terms, it's the wrong words, because it's something far beyond that. There's this, I'm just supposed to do this because this is who I am. It's a completion. It's not honoured as something that happens outside if an accolade is given and you say, thank you, this is a great honour, as opposed to being absorbed into and a part of where you belong. It's not an honour to belong, it's your place to belong. You give respect within that environment, but it's not an honour in one way to be in a family. You're in that family and you give honor. You are the one who gives honor to that family. You give respect within that family. You fulfill your role within that family. That's not honor that you extol externally. It's an honor that you give internally because you're a part of something. And that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. So we head back in 9 weeks, and I'm talking to Teddy and talking to my mate Richo, and we'll head back in 10 weeks. 9 weeks now, I think. And we'll go to Tennant Creek and we'll just follow the smoke, because that's what it was like the entire time, was just following the smoke. Just following the smoke from fire to fire to fire. And we ended up where we were supposed to be, when we were supposed to be, with the people we were supposed to meet. And we're there. And it really doesn't matter what anyone thinks, as I know I'm home. Still got to do all the paperwork and all that stuff with Link Up, and still got to investigate a bunch of stuff. But when Justin looked at me and said, I know you, cuss, I thought, that's an incredible thing. That's such an incredible thing. It's totally changed my life. No, that's a trite saying. It sounds trite because it's said so often. It has changed me on a level that I'm not aware of yet. But something has fundamentally shifted. And it's never able to go back. I've gone from Texas to Tennant Creek. I've gone from abandoned to being wanted. I'm gone from homeless to home, man without a country to country. I have no words to describe that, what that means on the inside. I don't even know what it means on the inside because I've never been here. Yeah, that'll do. I think that brings it up to speed. I hope I've done it justice. What I want to try and do now is, going forward, is chronicle the internal and the external journey, and see where it takes us all.